Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk with Coach. I'm your host, Becca Goldsberry, executive coach with Southwestern Consulting. This podcast is all about learning from the best of the best, those who have walked the walk and talked the talk, and who are ready to share their journeys, lessons, and hard earned wisdom. We're going to discover some really invaluable tips today about the market, what's coming up in 26, and so many other things that can transform your business or leadership journey. So, buckle up and get ready for another episode of Talk with Coach. Today, it is my privilege and honor to have one of my friends, Michele Zurface, on the podcast with me today. Michele and I met. Michele, I got to really think about this, how we got introduced, because and since then, Michele and I've just like found this vast friendship and like-mindedness in all things sales and leadership and business. But Michele is the owner of a Goosehead agency. She's an independent broker that serves Indiana. She has been an experienced licensed agent since 2018, an agency owner since 2023. Her specialty is home, auto, life, and commercial. And she literally grew her agency from zero to over 800 policies and 1.2 million in premium in little over 2 years. She is passionate about educating clients and not just selling policies to those who don't need them. She is committed to helping families make confident financial decisions. Outside of the office, Michele loves to travel, cook with her husband, and volunteer locally. What I love Michele about the most is you call her, she picks up the phone, and she is willing to help, to serve, or just be the ear and confidant that you need and friend in your corner and a cheerleader at all times. So, Michele, my friend, it is about time you're on Talk with Coach. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. I love being here with you. I appreciate your friendship, your partnership, your leadership. The things you give to everyone out there that you touch is amazing. I hear such great things. Personally, I love you too, but it's always good to have that confirmation from others that are working with you and growing because of you. So kudos to you.
Well, thanks. I don't know. I missed you yesterday while we were building vision boards and having so much fun in leadership yesterday. It was so much fun. We missed you.
I'm sorry I was not there. I actually regret it now, but I could not change some things on my calendar. I apologize.
That's all right. We will forgive you. But I'm excited for you to be on this podcast. A couple weeks ago, I had Ashton Wishmeyer kind of talk about what's going to be happening in 2026 in like the real estate market. So I would love your perspective because I know a lot of people are asking you, what is the forecast for 2026? What can we expect? What's coming down the pipeline? Changes. There's been a lot, I think, that has kind of come down with the big, beautiful bill, so to speak, and all those changes. Okay, Michele, I just need you to be the expert and just kind of fill us in on what's happening, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. We look at trends a lot. Where is the industry trending? What's happening? What's going to happen? Interest rates drive a lot of that within the real estate market. However, with insurance, it's different. Now, our weather drives insurance, right? What's happening in the Midwest, what's happening on the coasts, all of those things affect our carriers that we work with. And since 2022, the market has been crazy on the insurance side of rates and things stabilizing. I will say at this point, we are seeing those things start to stabilize for us with our carriers and finding that happy medium of premium and coverage in combination with an ideal deductible, which that's a whole nother conversation about deductibles. But the great thing is we're going to see better things happening in 2026. It's not going to be quite as volatile as it has been I can also say there are still changes happening with rates. We'll still see that fluctuate a little bit at this point, but the market is way more stable than it has been in the last 2 years, which is great for me as an agent, knowing that chasing a carrier and servicing a client is going to be a little bit less challenging. I think that's one of the things I do like about my career here with Goosehead is that it is challenging. So I have to stay on my toes to make sure I know what's happening with 80 plus carriers that I have, and then being able to serve those clients and those phone calls that are coming in because everyone has a different need. I need to figure out what it is that's special for them and finding the best combination of premium, coverage, and deductibles that still fits in the budget, right? We all live in a budget. And with the cost of everything else going up, I need to make sure that insurance is still within budget as best possible, right? I will have long conversations. Sometimes it's hours on the phone, depending on what we need to figure out for that family in that new home or the autos. What is it that we need to make sure we have covered, and where are we going? What do we do in the next 12 months, right? With that family. It's critical to that process.
Absolutely. So, question for you. Oh, when was that? 22, where we had hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, tornadoes, fires, all of the natural disasters, I think, hit the US all at once. So, I would assume that a lot of the volatility came from those natural disasters from the carriers.
It definitely, when we see a large payout of claims because of those natural disasters, it does affect our carriers. It does affect their profitability. Obviously, we're all in business to make money, but the insurance is there to pay out when that tragedy happens, right? So we want to take care of the tragedy, and then we need to recover. So it's that whole process, that cycle. When you think of the cycle of life, there's a cycle for insurance as well. So when we pay out those claims, that's what we're there to do, is to take care of those things when they happen. But we need to regroup after that, right? And reevaluate. But we also, with the amount of data that's out there now in the world of insurance, it's amazing. With AI and the collection of information, we can fine tune things so much, even down to the zip code of what's possibly going to happen in that zip code weather-wise, to help us determine the rates on our insurance. So if you have a zip code less likely to suffer from a tornado or high winds, your premium probably is going to be better. But do you buy a house because of that? No, you buy the house because you love it, right? Because it's the perfect house for your family to grow up in, right? So there are those external factors that do play into that premium, but ultimately we want to find the right option. Because like I said, I have over 80 different companies I work with, and every company has a different sweet spot for what they want to insure. And it's just
Mm-mm.
finding the right one.
So where do you see, I don't want to say the sweet spot for people right now, but is there a sweet spot for people right now?
There definitely can be. And it comes down to communication with your agent. It really is having that conversation. I just got off the phone this morning, with a client I've had for 3 years. We reviewed her policies. We looked at other options, and we talked through what she has right now, the coverages she has right now, the premium she's paying right now versus what else is out there. And today we decided to stay where she's at with the same carrier and let everything move for the next 12 months with the same carrier because of the coverages and because of the premium. Did her premium change? Yeah, it did a little bit. Her auto was flat. Her house went up a little bit, but it wasn't anything that was tremendous that would actually destroy a monthly budget by any means, because there can be those situations. But it comes down to the conversation you have. And that's the way of the world, right? Communication.
Yeah, communication. How did you decide to become an insurance agent? Because we all don't wake up in the mornings, when we're kids and like, I want to go sell something today. I want to be a real estate agent, or I want to go sell insurance, or I want to be a financial advisor. We just don't, unless your parent is one.
Right,
Maybe that might be the case.
right, right.
How did you decide, what was your journey to getting to Goosehead?
That is a great question. First of all, I was in retail for 20 years, high-end retail. I managed several different jewelry stores, and in Indiana and in other states, district manager. I've been in the customer service industry my whole life. And I was actually at a BNI meeting in Bloomington, and this gentleman came up to me and said, "Michelle, you'd be perfect for commercial insurance in the area where you live. Will you consider that?" I was like, "What? Insurance? Who wants to sell insurance?"
Jewelry insurance. Yeah.
I like the sparkle personally, but
Me
right?
too.
Most girls do. So I was like, okay, this door opened for a reason. So he said, just shadow me for 2 weeks. Come with me, ride with me. I'll kind of show you the ropes of what I do and how I do my business. And it was a commercial agent. And so I spent time with him, visiting, knocking on doors, talking to decision makers within businesses. And when they slid the offer across the table and said, "Here, Michelle, we want to offer you a job here, and this is the offer." And I'm like, well, okay. That's not what I expected. But I am one of the few people that probably you ever talk to. I like change. I like when things are different. I like when my day is not 100% structured in the same thing all the time. I like being in my office. I like being in social events. That's where you and I have met. And so the variety of life that comes with selling insurance, I enjoy. So it was something once they made the offer, I'm like, okay, this door's open. Let me go take the test. Let me do this. And it was an adventure by all means. And again, at that time, it was, starting with no customers, just building a business by knocking on doors, shaking hands, and having conversations with people and building relationships. And that's, I think, one of my blessings in life is that I can be open, start a conversation, try to find something that can help someone with. Let's figure that out together. Let's go down this road and help you find a better policy for your business, or make sure you have the right policy. And I've had people where I've talked to them, I'm like, you're in the best place right now. Stay where you're at. You have a great policy. Just know that you're doing the right thing. And it does happen. It's not everyone you convert to a customer of your own, but the honesty that has to come from that conversation is more important to me, for them to know that they have the right thing as opposed to just trying to sell them something. No one wants to be sold anything ultimately.
No, they don't. And I was going to say, I think those are some of your strengths. You are great at building relationships. You're like me. We can talk to anybody and everybody, and we do. We will make up conversation and go with the flow when we're out and about. But then your other strength is solution solving, not necessarily problem solving. You're good at finding solutions.
Mhm.
I think you're so good at both of those things.
Thank
And
you.
makes you good at what you do and why everybody trusts you with their stuff.
I think that's one of the brilliant things about Goosehead is being an agency owner with them as a franchise owner. The tools they give us is amazing. The support that they give us is amazing. For me to be able to go out and do what I get to do and love to do what I do and have all that support from my company behind me, they deal with all of the contracts with the carriers. I don't have to negotiate a contract. They've already done it for me. And that's the beauty of Goosehead. And that's the beauty of being an owner, where I can focus on what I do really well. And that's building relationships and spending time with the people I care about.
Love that. Okay. As you started your own business, what were some of the things you did not expect to be a hurdle, but actually was a hurdle in starting your own business?
First of all, you have to learn to say no. And it's so hard to, because I'm a yes girl. I want to do everything. I want to make people happy. I want to volunteer. I want to do all these things, but you have to figure out at some point you can't do everything, and you can't be everything to everybody. So you have to choose, right? So in the beginning, people come at you and they want you to advertise here, and they want you to do this, and they want you to host this or sponsor that. And you've got to really pull back on those kind of things and say, okay, what's important to me as a person in this community, and what's important to my business and the growth of my business? I want to support those businesses that support me, right? So it's got to go hand in hand, and you have to learn, and it's hard to say no and reevaluate, right? You go through 12 months of doing business and you're like, okay, let's look at the things that worked and the things that didn't work. Why didn't they work? Do we need to reframe it and try again? Or do we just walk away? And those are things that take a minute to learn. And I've learned a lot through that process. And where do you spend your marketing dollars?
That's huge for so many of you guys in the insurance business. I always have clients, they're like, do mailers actually work anymore? Do sending posts, right? Like, if you think about for decades, what did people ever get in their mail? They always got the mailers, they got the postcards, they got the newsletters. And a lot of times people are like, that doesn't work anymore. So everything has changed when it comes to marketing and social media. What are you finding that works and what doesn't work anymore when it comes to marketing?
So the flyers and the postcards can be good just for brand recognition. I know who this person is, right? That can be good. But is it a true ROI, return on investment? Not necessarily. Really rarely is it a return on investment. The best part of what I get to do is seriously spending time with you, having coffee with you, right? Those moments are important, because then you get to know me, I get to know you. I can refer you to people that I know want a great, and then you can refer me to people who, like, they're really struggling with their insurance. They need to talk to Michelle, right? So those times, those coffee meetings, those lunch meetings, those times when we get to spend time with other people is critical to the growth of my business and the ability for them to refer me to other people. My BNI, critical to my business, critical. I wish I could show you all the dollars that come in, but that's not fair.
I know,
Ultimately,
right?
it's but it's such a good shot in the arm of understanding how important showing up every week to a meeting for an hour and a half, spending time with 30 people in a room, and then time outside of that room, getting to know them, and then they trust you, right? And they trust you to keep sending people to you. And that's what is amazing about my BNI connections, but even more amazing about building referrals. And you get to a point in your business where people that are your customers are referring you to their friends and family, and your business starts building. The book is building on the book as it grows without necessarily an external referral. That's such a sweet spot to be. And to see that happening now is a blessing, true blessing, because your customers love you.
I was going to say, you just nailed a couple things that I've talked about with my other circle of influence people, my other COI, and some of my coaching clients this week. One, the power of referrals. Like cold calling, nobody's picking up the phones anymore. It's really not. And like a colleague and I always say, cold calling is God's punishment for not asking for referrals.
It is.
Like referrals. And so another podcast I was just doing today, we were talking about recruiting. To actually get an interview with a company these days, you really need to know somebody to introduce you to people and those things. So I keep the word networking keeps coming back in like full force in so many things with job interviews, with recruiting, with sales, with referrals. Like if people who are in sales and leadership, marketing, if people are not out networking, it's the only way right now a lot of people are seeing success because I think we all miss human contact and human relationships after a few years where we didn't have it. And now with I think everybody is just wanting human relationships, human conversations. Like that's how people are doing business is networking and sharing referrals and introducing people with other amazing people.
Mhm. It's so healthy to have relationships with people that care about you and that want to help you in your business. That is like probably one of the biggest highs I get off of being an agency owner is when someone wants to refer you to their friends and family. Like that's such an honor. It's such a treat to have someone talk about you in that way and want to help you build your business. I think that was probably one of the things my first year of owning Goosehead was to sit back and be humbled by those people that want to do business with you, that want to support you and want to help you grow your business. And as a women business owner, sometimes climbing that ladder in the world of an industry that's full of men is not easy. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to be a little bit different. You have to be a little unique, but you have to always listen, always be ready to listen to someone when they need your help.
I love that. I love it. So, what are some of the biggest challenges? Because business is never easy. It's just not. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you face and how did you overcome them?
I'm going to go back to something I touched on a little earlier, and that's making the right decisions on how you're spending the money in your company, right? You have your revenue that's coming in. You want to continue to build your business, but where's the right way to spend that money, that revenue to continue to grow, right? It's making the right decisions of what to do there. And I've made some decisions to spend money, and I'm like, wow, that was a terrible return on investment. And so you've got to try it though, right? You don't know because you could land a whale of a client in one conversation. I just had a referral from one of my peeps in BNI, and this gal is also a real estate agent, first of all, which is a great contact. Second of all, she's an investor, and she has like 12 different properties. Well, today I just signed her up to do her own homeowner's policy, which is huge. So once you win their own policies, it's easier to grow from that point on, right? And so I go back to getting that one whale, that one great client. And if you can have 10 more of those, How do you get 10 more of those, right? Those people that are going to refer back to you, or those investors that are saying, hey, I'm out investing and buying properties in Indiana, northern Indiana, southern Indiana. They're meeting other investors and they're going to talk about who's doing what for whom. And they're going to complain about those situations that are not going well. So if you could be on the side where they're rewarding you and praising your name, that's such a great place to be when you have investors like that are saying, hey, Goosehead is a place to be. You need to talk to Michelle. And so, but you don't know until you go out there and try something, until you meet the people, until you shake their hands, till you sit down and have coffee. You don't know.
You don't know. That reminds me, I always tell people you need to have 10 champions. So 10 referral partners that will, no matter what, where they are out and about in the community, that's in the conversation, something triggers, they're like, oh, you need to contact Michelle. Let me text you her contact info and I'll do an email introduction to you. You need to have 10 champions. We all do in our back corner to be able to introduce us to other amazing people.
Hmm.
Once you build those 10, go for 20. You
Yep.
got 20, go for 30, right? And then that's how your business actually grows.
It's that spider networking that happens
Yeah.
once someone has, they have your name and they have great things to say about you. You're going to tell other people. People like talking about great decisions they've made, right? We want to talk about man, you're so smart because I changed this or I did that, but I want to introduce you to my person that helped me with that, right? Those
Yep.
are such highs for them to say that
Mhm,
they made a great decision, because we all
mhm.
want to pat ourselves in the back, right? And then to share that with your friends and family and to spider network that way is amazing, because a testimonial is so much better than a cold call.
So much. I love getting emails from all you like all our little network that we have where everybody's just introducing other great people like, "Hey, you need to meet Becca. Becca, this is so and so like, and here's why you guys are just both badass people that you just need to meet." Like, I love those emails. It gives you endorphins like
It
without
does.
working out. Like I'm sitting at my desk having getting endorphins and the happy feelings because other people are thinking of you and that for business owner or people in business that's the best thing ever.
That time frame, those emotions that you have from getting that referral from someone that cares about you and wants to help you build your business, kind of encapsulating that if you can, and hold on to that emotion and moment for those days when you're not getting those referrals, or maybe it's just a crap day and all you're getting is phone calls and you're not winning, right?
Yeah,
Because not everyone says yes.
that's right.
You gotta hold on to those moments that you got the yes, the moments that you felt so great about what you were doing for someone else. Encapsulating those moments and holding on to those for those days that are kind of crappy is a critical to owning a business as well, because you gotta keep
Yeah.
going.
I wish
Keep
I could
going.
I wish I could bottle that up and sell it. Like,
Yep.
if I could bottle that up and, like, make a perfume out of it, girl, we'd be billionaires. It'd be
That's it. We
amazing.
need to create a perfume that's called Win.
Win.
Win. Win. Win.
So, there is those perfect
Women
that
in networking. Win. Win.
win.
There we go. We're
That's
gonna
right.
make this work.
We'll figure it out. Because typically between you and I, if we put our heads together in something, we typically make it happen. So,
We
we can make
can.
it work, sister. We can make it
The pow
work.
the power.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we talked a little bit about what's happening in 2026. Where do you see the industry moving forward? Maybe like the next 3, 5 years. Where do you see insurance kind
That's
of
a good question.
heading, down the road?
Sure. So with Goosehead, we are on this, and that's AI. Everyone's talking about AI. How are you embracing it? And darn it, if you're not, shame on you. You should be. Because Goosehead, we are setting ourselves up right now for embracing AI more and more every month. So, yes, we do have a call center to take care of all my customers, but we do have an AI agent now that is fielding the initial calls and routing them to the right place, whether it's a claim, it's an adjustment to the policy, whatever it is. Those AI partners that we have are so critical for our business to move faster, to get what you need on the phone faster, right? Because who wants to spend 20 minutes on hold on a phone? No one does.
No,
But if
nobody.
we can get an AI agent answering it and understanding what do you need immediately and getting you in the right direction, as opposed to, I need to transfer you, I need to transfer you. No one wants to go through that either. But if we can embrace the AI and accept that it's here to stay because it's not going anywhere,
going anywhere, guys.
But it's not replacing an agent. I want to be very clear of that. It's not replacing me. You still need to have a relationship because I still need to be licensed to sell a policy. An AI agent will never be licensed to sell a policy, right?
Same thing with financial advisors, same thing with realtors. They all have to be licensed to be able to do those things. They're not going anywhere. People say it's going to die, and I'm like, no, you're still going to need those relationships.
Exactly. We still
Yeah,
have to live that way. And
yeah,
I'm so looking forward to seeing what's coming down the pike with Goosehead and with our AI components because it gets me so excited when I hear about what we're doing and where we're going, just with the technology that we're embracing and our digital agent that I can send out to clients. And the fact that we have our own app now, Goosehead has your own app, so you can see all of your policies in one place as opposed to having maybe 5 different apps because you have 5 different carriers for different
right.
policies. The technology that's coming out for us is super exciting, and I can't wait for it to continue to grow and make my business grow and help me be a better agent and help take care of our clients in a very efficient way. They just need to
I
embrace
love
it.
it. So speaking of AI, I have an interesting story I heard last night on the news. And I don't watch the news very often, but it happened to be on my YouTube feed last night. So the CEO of Eli Lilly was on Fox Business because they just created a partnership and Eli Lilly is going to be opening an AI facility that is literally going to be making the medication. And AI is going to be, a lot of it will be done by AI making the medication. So it's perfectly standard, right? It's going to be consistently made,
Mhm,
eliminating human error.
mhm.
And it got me to thinking, and you were so right, like with Goosehead, like all companies are embracing how do we make the companies more efficient, more effective? We're not giving up the relationships. They're still gonna have to have salespeople go out to the doctor's office because one of the drugs that I guess it's going to be making is going to be instead of like the Ozempic injections,
Mhm.
it will be pills. So the same kind of medication, like in pill form. And it's just really interesting how AI, doesn't matter what industry, is literally having an effect on every business.
If you don't embrace it, you'll get left behind, to be very honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm trying to figure out AI for myself. Like, how do I make things easier for like social media and marketing? Like, and I just need to take time and stuff and just kind of learn how to do things quicker. So we all have to do it.
We do.
We all have
Absolutely.
to do it. So, okay. So you say AI is kind of like 3 to 5 years, the big game changer in the industry.
It's going to move faster. What we're going to see is the ability to generate business and grow our agencies faster because of AI, because of what it's providing for us. So Goosehead has partnered with our carriers. So our technology that we have developed, and this is one of the reasons why I bought a Goosehead franchise, the technology that they've developed for us is to take us from quoting to close within minutes because our system that we've developed is talking directly with the carrier system and being able to pull that information over to us quicker and faster. So you can have a quote within minutes, if not less, and know exactly what your options are. So once you make that phone call, instead of calling 5 different companies, you can make one phone call and I can tab 12 different companies and know which one is going to be the best for you within minutes.
Well, and I was going to ask, what are some of the strategies that you are keeping yourself and your business personally relevant in such a fast-paced world?
It's presenting. So I just did a presentation to my BNI chapter about the technology within my agency and what we're doing. And there's other agencies in the room, right?
Yeah.
That are my partners of BNI. And they're like, wow, we cannot believe that this is what your company is doing with technology and AI. And it comes down to the amount of agents we have in the field right now, as well as getting the right people in the right place in our corporate office to help push us forward from the back almost so we can be the front facing agent to everyone and have all that technology behind us that makes us that much better, that much faster, that's that much more effective in the community, in our hometowns, right? Because there's an agent on every corner. You can call any of them, but if you can get an agent that's going to be able to look at all those carriers at once and answer that question for you all at once, why wouldn't you call them one
Great,
person instead of 10?
great question. So I know you are very busy and you do a lot of things in the community. So what do you do to stay balanced, recharge as a business owner, busy entrepreneur? What does Michelle love to do? I know you love to cook and love to travel, but what are some of the activities that you love to help you reset?
Recently, I will say, first of all, my husband keeps me balanced.
We have good husbands because they both do, girl. Without him, you and I would be saying yes to probably so many things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He helps me stay level-headed about what's happening, what's in front of us. I think also I put so much pressure on myself for performance and work so many hours. He's like, "You know what? I'm here. Come spend time with me, right? You can work a little bit less maybe." But he's a great partner for me in keeping me balanced. But in my free time, I enjoy loving on my dogs. I enjoy volunteering. Obviously, the Alzheimer's Association is a big part of what I like to spend my time and money on outside of the business. But just, sitting down and having a great conversation with friends over football, obviously, go Hoosiers. That's
I don't
it's a
know.
big
I was
topic
like,
right now.
spoiler up. But anyway, we will agree to disagree on college football
Okay, that's
and
fine.
basketball. Yeah,
I,
that's fine.
I have to say that just because my nephew is a part of the team. So that's why I have to
That is
say that.
true. That is true. Yes, they've had a great run this year. Amazing
Amazing, isn't it?
run.
I,
12
I,
and
I
0, just amazing.
so thrilled that he has this experience at this time in his life with such a great coach and team. But I've spent time with my family, going to tailgates, going to the games, meeting new people. That's been a great de-stressor for me to get out of the office and to do other things that aren't business related, right? To go have some fun and scream a little bit at the players in the stadium. So that's been a good time for us. My husband is an awesome cook, chef, if you will. So we enjoy spending time with. We have a great friendship with a family here in Columbus that's from South Africa, and we've really enjoyed our time with them and cooking for each other and trying new cocktails and just enjoying each other and learning about their culture and embracing our own culture and finding that happiness that we have and can share with each other as families. We've really enjoyed that this past fall and really getting to know them. So we like enjoying that. But unplugging from your business sometimes is difficult because the phone rings a lot or text messages with customer questions. And I try to answer those things quickly so I can get back to what I'm doing on the personal side when I'm not in the office, right? If I can, in fact, answer those questions. I've been over in Ohio at an orchid show earlier this year, and I had someone call me on a Saturday afternoon, "Hey, I'm buying a car." And it's like, okay,
Okay.
send me the information when you buy it. I'm not in front of my computer, unfortunately. So you do have to find those things that you enjoy and be out of the office. And hopefully the customers are okay with you not being in the office on Saturday afternoon when they're buying their cars, because we can always take care of that when we get back. It's something that is, you're just being really honest with them. And again, communication.
I was gonna say communication, but also expectations,
Sure,
and
absolutely.
giving client expectations. I tell my coaching clients all the time, like my realtors and my mortgage people, my insurance, my financial advisors, all you guys. I'm like, set up expectations so that way they're not calling you at 10 o'clock at night expecting things to get done when you can't actually do anything at night anyway. Right? I mean, so, it's okay. Like, yes, I will be on it. We'll work on it. 8 o'clock in the morning. I got you.
Exactly.
Like, because everybody has lives. We need that balance.
Right. Right. We
It's
do
so
need the
important.
balance. Yep.
So, one last question here. I always ask everybody. So, Michelle, if you had to boil it down, what are the top three pieces of advice that you would give anybody looking to grow their business or their leadership skill set?
Top 3 pieces. I think first of all is have a mentor, have someone you bounce those things off of, and, you're like, "Okay, what do you think about this?" And sometimes it's my husband, which God love him, he'll listen to me most of the time. So having a mentor, I think, is critical for growth in leadership and growth in your business. Someone that's already been down the path, right? They can educate you or maybe be a devil's advocate with some conversations that you're like, "What? I wanna try this," and like, "Whoa, time out." Probably not a good thing to try. A mentor would be a great Second of all, I think trust your gut, right? We have emotions for a reason, and we want to overthink things. That's probably one of my negatives. I overthink things too much. So trust your gut, and that's helped me through the initial phase of launching the business. Right when you're a one woman show, you have to make decisions all day long about how you're spending your time, how fast you're doing anything for anyone, right? So trust your gut. Go with what you think is best and be honest about it with yourself and with your client. Third thing I think is take time to reflect. You got to look back and say, "Did this work? How is this going? How can I make it better?" Because I'm always looking at how can I make that better? How could I have done better with that conversation? How could I have won that customer? What could I have said or done to win them over? So I go back over conversations all the time, and it probably can work too much in that respect. But I think it's good to reflect on those conversations just to say, okay, when this happens again, how am I going to handle this next time? How am I going to answer that question next time? How am I going to be better prepared for that? Because the more you learn now, the better you are in the future. So you can just this gathering of information, especially when it comes to insurance or time of claim when people need advice about claims. What do I do? How do I do this? Right? It's gathering that information, being prepared to answer that. And in that process, staying calm.
Mm,
Because
so important.
I think when people have claims, actually, I know when people have claims, they have a lot of anxiety about what to expect, what to do, how to handle it. And if I'm handling it in a very irrational way, right, they pick up on that. So being very calm in that process and saying, okay, first of all, is everyone okay? Everyone's fine. We don't need to call an ambulance or anything. Yeah, okay. Now we can go on to the next steps. Just taking time to be rational about what's happening and how you can help those people on the phone when you answer the phone.
Oh, I love
Sorry,
it.
that may have been 4.
Good, but that's so good feedback. I mean, it's so important, all the things that you just said. But friend, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights and knowledge and, having a little bit of fun on your Friday afternoon.
Well, I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate you doing
Oh,
this podcast, and appreciate the invite for today. Obviously, women in leadership is a great place to spend our time in supporting each other and watching each other grow. Like the things you've shared with me over the last year and the growth you've had is such a great thing to share and celebrate. So don't miss those opportunities to celebrate, right?
that's right. That's right. So thank you, friend. And you guys, this wraps up another episode of Talk with Coach. A huge thank you to Michelle for sharing valuable knowledge and lessons from her incredible journey. If today's episode resonated with you, or if you have a burning question or topic you'd like for us to discover and talk about in the future, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen. Until next time, remember every four is a part of your success story. Keep striving for greatness, keep learning, and don't forget your journey is just beginning. Have a great day, guys.